So hello everyone and welcome to Who Is, a series where I cover interesting characters from FNAF and explain them in short. Today we are talking about the main protagonist of Fazbear Frights, the Stitchwraith. So, let's begin. The Stitchwraith is a character that first appeared in the epilogues for Fazbear Frights number 1, Into the Pit. The Stitchwraith is described as being an endoskeleton with the head of a doll named Simon from the story Real Jake. One of the Stitchwraith's eyes is black out and he has red stains all over his face, which are actually pizza stains. It has a big grin with teeth and one of them is missing. It also wears a coat that was owned by Dr. Phineas Staggers. It is also powered by a battery pack that came from Fetch. We learn from the epilogues that the Stitchwraith is kind of like an urban legend and is being investigated by Detective Larson. Later, we learn that in the Stitchwraiths are Jake and Andrew, with Jake being able to control the suit and Andrew not being able to do pretty much anything. The Stitchwraith came to life when Dr. Phineas Staggers experiments with something called agony. The Stitchwraith endoskeleton was infused with agony. When Phineas powered the Stitchwraith, it immediately murders him and runs away. It is later revealed that Jake didn't want to kill him. Also, Andrew infected some objects with agony, and throughout the epilogues, Jake tries to collect these items, such as an Ella doll or Plastrap Chaser. They end up putting these items into a trash compactor in an old factory. Then, it turns out that in the Stitchwraith suit was Afton all along. He then rises and creates a giant trash rabbit called the Afton Amalgamation. Andrew tries to fight Afton and injects himself from the suit onto Afton, leaving Jake alone in the Stitchwraith suit. After the fight, Jake heals Detective Larson, who was in the factory while they were fighting, and sees that someone else was the main threat. Someone else was with them in the factory while they were fighting. Not Afton, but Eleanor. After some time passes, Jake meets a homeless girl named Ronelle. He finds her food and protects her from different gangs on the street. It turns out that Ronelle was Eleanor all along, and the epilogues end up with Detective Larson weakening Eleanor and Jake finishing her and killing her, turning her into a mummified corpse. It turns out that Eleanor was behind almost every single Fazbear Frights story. The end of Stitchwraith happens when he goes into a ball pit in an abandoned Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Every ball in the ball pit has a memory of one of Eleanor's victims from every Fazbear Frights story. Jake ends up making a girl named Millie, who was killed by Funtime Freddy in the story Count the Ways, happy and reunite her, even just in a memory, with her grandfather. The Stitchwraith, sitting in the ball pit, shuts down forever. When Fazbear Frights first released, many people thought that the Stitchwraith was supposed to be Ennard. The resemblance was there, so it makes sense for people to think this. Also, many people to this day think that the Stitchwraith is supposed to parallel Golden Freddy. One of the souls, Jake, is supposed to parallel the Crying Child, and Andrew is supposed to parallel Cassidy. I, to this day, still believe this theory. And then there are people who think that the Stitchwraith slingers and the Fazbear Frights stories connected to it are canon to the games. This theory is called Stitchline Games. So, let me know what you think about the Stitchwraith. Do you believe that it is canon to the games, or is it just supposed to parallel Golden Freddy? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.